What's up, guys? Today's part 2 of my series answering my most frequently asked questions. Last time we covered what gun should I buy, and today we're going to look at what kind of holster should I get. So let's rock and roll. First of all, we're going to look at outside of the waistband holsters, which is just like this one. It's outside of the waistband. Okay, for these outside waistband holsters, you want a hard-sided holster with some retention. So what that means is that it shouldn't be made out of that really like soft collapsible material, whether it's leather or any kind of fabric or anything that doesn't have like a casing inside of it. If you're under stress and you are trying to reholster, you do not want to be fighting with something that's collapsed down on itself. You could really end up with like a negligent discharge into your foot or your thigh. So you don't want that, okay? The retention aspect of these holsters means that once you put the gun into the holster, it can't come loose, it can't come out, and it can't even be drawn by another person. So an outside of the waistband holster like this is what you always want to use for competitions. So you're not, again, like fighting to get your gun back inside your pants or into some kind of material that's collapsed, especially when you're under stress, okay? So another time I use this is when I'm in a class that's like transitioning from rifle to pistol. So say like you fired your rifle, you get a jam, now you have to transition back to your pistol. You fire with your pistol, and it's a safe time for you to reholster your pistol and then get your rifle back up and running. Well, what happens is if you're now like fighting with the holster back inside your waistband or a collapsed holster, you don't have room and you don't have the hands in order to manage that. So you want this hard-sided retention holster. Another thing is for competitions, if you're out running around, like say recently I was at a run and gun where they had us shooting from 3 different positions, standing, kneeling, and prone from both weapon platforms. So as we are running from these 3 different positions, getting into 3 different physical positions, that gun easily could have come out. But with retention, it keeps it in there, okay? Another good time to have a holster like this, an outside of the waistband holster with retention, is when, say, you're outside maybe doing sandbag overhead burpees to get your heart rate up before you shoot. Yeah, really crazy people do these kind of things to test themselves under stress. So again, that's something where you don't want to be like throwing your body down on the ground and then getting up and having to mess with keeping your holster in place, keeping your gun in your holster. Okay. So this specifically is the Safariland 7377 something. I will link it to the bottom because it has a lot of numbers with it. It's an ALS, which is an automatic locking system. What that means is as soon as I holster this gun, it locks in place. Okay, it will not come out of there at all. In order to get this gun out, you have to push your thumb on the release and then draw the weapon out. Okay, so that's how this works. It is an automatic locking system. So as I'm running around with this thing is not going to come out. Okay, super awesome. What else about this? Retention comes in various levels. For competitions and run and guns and things like that, you want a really high level of retention like this because otherwise it's really easy for somebody to snatch the gun off of you. I actually know a instructor that likes to do that in class. He comes up behind people, rips their gun up out of their holster just to show them how important retention is. So, but again, if you're out running around, if you're running through creek beds, if you're rolling around on the ground, crawling under barbed wire, you do not want to have to worry about your gun coming out. That's an automatic disqualification. So again, pretty much the only time I use an outside of the waistband holster is competitions, classes when I'm doing rifle transitions, and then almost every time outside of that, I can't think of another situation that I use outside of the waistband holsters, but every other time I use it inside the waistband holsters. So we will look at that now. Now for carrying inside the waistband, you want to keep with that same hard-sided holster and at least a minimum amount of retention. You don't necessarily need like a super high level of retention, but if you find yourself in the position where you all of a sudden need to run, say from a stray dog or to catch a bad guy or to snatch a kid from running into the street, or even like bees or bears, because personally that's the only reason that I think anyone ever needs to be running is to run from bees or bears, then you don't want that gun coming loose, right? So let's look at this. So in waistband holsters really are, in my opinion, the best and easiest option for concealed carry, especially if you're a small female. So let's look at a couple of my favorite in waistband holsters. Okay, first of all, we have this one right here. I will link it to the bottom. This one is not sold anymore. It's been updated, but the thing that I really like about this holster is that it's really minimal. Okay, so see, it's a very small, minimal holster. It's really great. It's got a few flaws, so we'll kind of look at that, and then I'm going to end up at the end of this video showing you my favorite holster. But first off, I really like this one because of how lightweight it is and really how high the retention is on it. It also has a chamber indicator exposed, so once you are chambered, you can still see once you're holstered, you can still see the chamber indicator here. It's also very easy to reach the magazine release on this one, in case you need to check how many rounds you have in your magazine, or you need to do a swap out and you don't want to pull out your gun, like say you're in class. So the thing I don't like about this one holster is that it clips my skin really bad when I'm holstering. You know, the retention again is really high, so once you have, I'll show you here, once you have reholstered this thing, it may clip your skin. Okay, so this is not my favorite holster, but I carried this one for a really long time. Another good in waistband holster, this is a deep concealment holster made by the same guy who made this one, and again I'll link it to the bottom. Doesn't have any really cool name other than that it's a deep concealment holster. This one is really awesome. The best thing about this one is how deeply inside your waistband it conceals. So for shorter females, or you know, shorter men, people in general, what the really great thing about this is that it really hides this gun far down in your pants. Okay, so I really like this one for everyday concealment because of this. It's very, very difficult to see. However, in class, if you are having to reholster this quite a bit, this one has a flaw where the fabric will come up over the side of this holster, so you actually kind of need two hands in order to reholster this one safely. So not awesome for class, but for everyday carry, it's great. This one does require belt loops in order to keep it very sturdy on here. So anyways, there's this one. I love this one. I've carried it a ton and really had no big issues with it for everyday carry. For class, it's not my favorite. I've been yelled at a few times for taking my time on trying to reholster. You can also hit the magazine release with this one while it is still in your pants. Chamber indicator is not available to be seen on this one. But again, I loved this holster, loved it. Now, my favorite holster. This is a new holster that I have recently come across. This is the in waistband Intrepid Holster by Eclipse Holsters. Okay, this one is freaking awesome. I love this holster for many reasons. First of all, it's got a really good level of retention, and you can tighten the screws. You can on these other ones also, not on this initial one, but on this one you can tighten the retention on a little bit. This one you can tighten the screws up a little bit to tighten or loosen your retention depending on what you like. You can reach the magazine release button without taking it out of your pants. I'm sorry, without unholstering the gun. This one comes with the ulti clip, okay? So it comes with the ulti clip, which is an amazing little device that means you do not need a belt to keep this one in place, okay? Let me just show you here. So this one pops on like this, and it does not come off of your pants, okay? It also, very lovingly, has skin protection on it, so you don't get any of that lovely skin pinch on it because it's protecting you here. This right here is called the Delta Wing. you can get it with or without the Delta Wing. It wasn't very much more expensive, so I just went ahead and got it. And then I also got the little part kit where you can take this off. So the Delta Wing, actually what it does is it helps, you can see here, this is pushing that out. Once I get it inside my waistband like this, you can see it actually kind of torques the holster and the grip back into your body a little bit, so there's less printing on this gun, okay, because of this holster. Okay, another thing about this one that I think is honestly one of the best things about it is that you can get it in many different colors. This one right here is the emotional support gun color. You can also choose your washer color. They have probably 50 different Kydex colors. They have them in solids and patterns. They have them in shiny and matte, holiday, like whatever you want. And they have, I don't know, 25, 30 different color washers that you can do on this. So you can customize them. It is so much fun. You don't have to go with just like, you know, everyone's favorite color, black. So it's a lot of fun. But seriously, this is like, I don't know. I have been so happy with this gun. I never carry appendix. There's a couple of reasons that I would say you could carry appendix, but we're not going to get into that. You know, if I'm having to fight with someone, I don't want to have to get between them and me in order to get my gun. Another thing is if you have a accidental discharge with this, it's in your pelvis. Not cool. Okay, so I always carry back here about 4:30, 5 o'clock. Okay, just want to show y'all this again. This right here clips into your leggings. Hello, thank you. And look, it stays in place. Okay, you can holster and reholster with this one. The fabric does not come up over this part of the holster. Hold on. Like freaking totally money. I love this gun. I love this holster. It's everything I've ever wanted in a holster. So again, this is the Intrepid holster by Eclipse. It's freaking phenomenal. It's got the ulti clip on it, completely customizable. Emotional support gun. I freaking love these people. I do not make any money from any of this. I will link all of this to the bottom. I've paid for all of these holsters, and all of these reviews are my own. I was not paid for any of this. So I'll link all that to the bottom, but I do want to hear what you think about it. If you end up getting any of these, please let me know, because I'm very interested in what your experience is with it and if I can help you, you know, with any of your new gear at all. So if this video was helpful for you, please like it, subscribe it. It helps draw people to the page. Send it out to friends, your grandma who, you know, doesn't even know how to use YouTube. That would be a perfect person. We love grandmas. And if you have any questions, then please let me know. Stay safe and stay dangerous, guys. See you next time.